We're very happy to be here with you guys today, discussing the divine feminine topic, which is something very profound and healing. So, I would like to start and share that just today I was doing some healing around my femininity, and it was really beautiful because I realized that I did have these stereotypes of like what I think I am, right? Like, oh, like I was thinking that like I am this and that, and I have to, put my emotional energy to my life purpose, to everything in my life. Shalia said something that really touched me and it felt so good because she's like, your emotional energy is for you only. And I feel like this is a very important thing for the divine feminine to heal because we love to give, right? Like we are givers and we love and everything. We can easily feel drained. You don't have to do that. Your emotional energy is for you. And so you gotta be very cautious on how you're using your energy because you can drain your energy in like a very like innocent conversation with someone. When we are present with ourselves, when we see our emotional energy as something very sacred, we can feel very peaceful, we can feel fulfilled and loved.
I think for me, one of the most important things about the understanding of the divine feminine is that the divine feminine doesn't have to look or be a certain way. There's a lot of stereotypes in society of what it means to be divine feminine, and you may or may not, vibe with any of them, and that's okay. Like historically, as long as I can see, women have sort of been defined by their relationship to another person. And it's actually very liberating to just be yourself. You don't have to be anything for anybody. You are claiming your divine femininity when you choose to be yourself, when you choose to relax into who you really are. And I think that's the biggest piece in really going deeper with who you really are, is relaxing into what feels good to you, right? And that may change depending on how your life is moving and what you're moving through. But letting go of this idea that your identity is tied to another person or tied to your relationship to another person, and just recognizing that your identity is your, who you truly are at the core. It's love, right? And you don't have to like fit into any certain mold. That's like the biggest thing about embracing your divine femininity. It's not about doing any certain thing. It's just about being who you really are.
I'd like to add that to discover your true divine self, it's very important that you're honest with yourself about what you desire and what actually feels good to you. Because as Christina mentioned, there's a lot of stereotypes. Like some people might think it's best for women to stay at home, be housewives, have a lot of children. But you might notice that this doesn't feel good to you. Like you want to do something else, maybe. Maybe you want to be a CEO. I don't know. But what it is feels good to you. I feel like a lot of us might feel shame about our true desires, want to fit into the mold because we want to be accepted by society. Maybe we think that, oh, my twin flame might like this if I am a certain way, because that's more feminine traditionally. But in truth, like being yourself is what's most attractive to your twin flame. And it will actually help you to feel much happier. And this is what's important, like being yourself, embodying your divinity. That's how you can actually like move forward on your twin flame journey and attract the perfect person for you.
I remember something that stood out to me from what Jeff and Shalia taught. Shalia mentioned the feminine has been in history kind of like forced to open or forced to give. And so a lot of feminines, including myself, have grown up with this idea that, okay, you need to shine and, look pretty at the table and give your cousins a hug or, like give here, give there, do this, do this. And then we become drained. Or maybe we grow up learning that if you don't give the way that people tell you to give, that there's negative consequences. And so a lot of kind of codependent patterns where the feminine is like over giving or compensating happens. And then you see like a lot of feminines drained and cranky because because they're not supposed to be giving in that way. One thing I really enjoyed learning from Jeff and Shalia was that the feminine has a receiving quality, but also an abundantly overflowing quality. And I liken that to like a flower blossoming, where the flower doesn't have to like give its petals to people. It just blooms and it's just so beautiful. Like Danny's flowers behind her, they don't have to do anything, and yet they're giving to everybody by just being it themselves and just radiating. And so that's the kind of feeling I get when I relax into my feminine, is being like a flower. Personally, I've enjoyed exploring my femininity and seeing what that's like for me. I love playing video games. I love talking. I don't like, I like leading in a certain way, like not in a particular way. You can be a leader as a feminine. That feels good to me.
Nice. That's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I love this topic too. And so for those who are watching, stay with us. I have a little exercise that you're gonna love it. And those who are watching on YouTube later on, pause this, go grab a pen and paper, and then come back. The purpose of this exercise today is to help you guys find your own expression, your own femininity, your own design to be feminine, not for what your parents did, your family, the other world, the culture, like, like you, right? Like how God created you. This is very important because when you make peace with your design, with your own femininity, you can blossom, like Lizzie was saying, like the flower, right? Like you can just blossom, you can just be. The only way for you to be and blossom is when you know who you are, when you are relaxing into that. So the exercise is that you write down what are the things that you as a feminine will love to do if there were no limitations, right? Like, for example, something that I've always thought about myself, and I don't even know if this is something that I will do or not. Maybe yes, I'm open, but I've always thought that like I was meant to write books, like I like I'm a writer. I haven't been crazy about it anymore, but like don't be afraid to write if that's the case, right? Like if it's something like that, like, oh, like I want to be like an artist, right? I want to be a singer, or I feel like I want to be whatever it is, right? Like write it down. If you want to be a mom, if you whatever it is that you feel in your heart, like make a list of the things that if you didn't have to worry about money, if you didn't have to worry about anything, if you had everything that you needed and you could just do whatever that brings you so much joy as a feminine, what would that be? This is going to help you get in touch with your design, and so it doesn't need to be something crazy either. It can be like, oh, I want to be a mom and enjoy my motherhood, which is very profound. Like it's I personally think like it's one of the most powerful and like challenging things, and at the same time very loving. So like if that's the case, write that down. Or even if it's like, don't hold yourself back. Like, what are your wildest dreams, you guys? Your wildest dreams. So write this down and then commit to the journey to be that. Don't feel discouraged if you write something that feels or looks impossible, or even if it's not like so big, but you still feel like it's impossible to get there. Don't worry about the how, right? Like worry about doing the work of the day so you can naturally align to that vibration and just be happy. Remember that your joy doesn't come from the end result. Your joy comes from your presence that you give to yourself. You can manifest all of your dreams, right? So, but it's important that like you are happy and present with yourself. And in order for you to be happy and present with yourself, you gotta love yourself. You gotta be with your feelings, right? Like you gotta be with your emotions. You gotta take care of yourself. And so have this list, right? Like and be inspired by that, and find the way that is gonna help you get there.
I actually did the little exercise right here in our group. I was surprised what I wrote down. Serving food to people, like not as a waiter or server, but like plating the food and like presenting it, like here's your divine nectar. Dream of like seeing people's face light up and educating them about what's on their plate and the food. Hosting color therapy, I wrote down, like helping people find what they like to wear and what feels good to them, like helping myself do that too. And then also like what I'm doing right now, which is coaching, but I also wrote down that I would like to receive daily or weekly massages.
And that's how you know what makes you happy, right? Like I will do that. Like that makes me feeling my feminine. Like that's my job. Like that's my, it makes me so happy. Like I will do that. We want to live life, filled with joy and purpose.
I also feel like this is a cool exercise because it gives you an action plan. Like if you've been wondering, okay, what's my next step with my life? You can get a lot of inspiration from that list because you get an idea of, oh, this is what I want to do with my life. Maybe I can break it into more manageable steps.
And if you're watching with us, I invite you to share in the comments also, like what is it that you would do? Kanisha wrote, writing music or songs is at my top, and travel and experience new culture. I think being a divine feminine means relaxing into your flow, right? And that's why there's so many different ideas that come to you, because you're not meant to be just one thing. There's so many ways that you're meant to shine, and you radiate naturally by just relaxing into your good.
Love yourself so much, to romance yourself, that like you become these magnets. Because remember, it's not about chasing, it's about attracting, right? Like attracts like.
You naturally become magnetic by filling up your cup. And so the way to naturally magnetize all of your good to you is to fill up your cup, is to treat yourself well and give yourself everything that you need to feel fully supported.
Yeah, I liked what you shared because I think feminines do many things, can be very powerful. There's a lot of feminine leaders in the world. There's a lot of feminine entrepreneurs, right? Like you can do anything the masculine can do, but your energy moves in a different way. And so it's really helpful to learn about that.
Tanisha shared a really nice comment here. So she said, I personally had to learn that living my soft life era and being in my flow doesn't mean I'm weak and not powerful. I felt like it wasn't safe to lead, but God leads and helps me lead from peace and just being. And I really like that, because I think we have this idea of what it means to lead, probably perpetuated from stereotypes of what it means when the masculine is in their power. But, we're getting more and more inspirations of what it means to lead as a divine feminine. And it does not mean that you can't. And it doesn't mean that you don't have leadership qualities. It's simply a different energy that you're moving from.
You don't need to put yourself in a box or feel ashamed for having qualities that are not traditionally feminine, because ultimately, like, you're your design. It doesn't depend on society. It's something that is timeless and eternal.
It's very, very important that you are embracing your energy, that you are embracing yourself, that you are loving yourself. You are not the person that is feeling down, feeling sad, feeling frustrated. That's not who you are. You are the person who feels so, like Christina was saying, that your cup is so filled that like you feel great about yourself. You have the power to create in your reality. And so today you have to remember that you can create in your reality. If you don't think like that about yourself, you're not going to be able to feel like that. So I really, really, really want this to be something that you take from today, right? Like that after this life, you embrace yourself, you love yourself, you look at yourself in the mirror and you see the beauty of who you are and you see how amazing you are. So you have to feel good about yourself today. You don't have a choice, right? Like that's the only choice, because the only choice will bring you down and will make you feel bad. That is not the choice. The choice is that you feel good about yourself, that you are loving yourself, that like you look at yourself, you see your sadness, your all of these things that don't feel good, and that you look at them and that you heal them. Don't stay stuck in this feeling that is not helping you. And you have to have the commitment to transcend that. So this is important. And I really wanted to make sure that, you know, you take this from today. So thank you everyone for joining us. It's been such a pleasure as always to connect with you, to be here with you, to help you, and to provide all of these beautiful and very profound knowledge and wisdom to help you on your journey. Remember, make your list, commit to that, take a step, you know, just one step closer to that. Be with your feelings, allow yourself to be vulnerable, and do not think that like you have to be like something or someone. You are unique, and that's the beauty of who you are. And remember, look at yourself in the mirror and look how amazing you are, because that's the only truth about you. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you in the next live.